People feel those temperatures above 70 degrees. That heat is looking to shatter some long-standing records. And that's bad news in places like the already parched southern states. To the north, rain is the name of the game. We are already seeing some precip this morning, and there's more on the way for the upper Midwest to the Northeast. Plus, a few flakes and ice could actually make for some slick spots on the road. We're going to help you get prepared for this. This is America's Morning Headquarters. I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams alongside meteorologist Jordan Steele and Jim Cantori. Jordan, let's get to the heat because everyone's so excited to see this, I think, because it's not overwhelming yet. All right, we'll go to Jim first to talk about the heat.
I thought I did see it, Jordan.
Mother Nature over the extended period. We don't get really much of anything in the south. All of the rain really kind of stays through the northern tier. And if you look at our precip rankings, this is for season to date. Knoxville's at number 1, Biloxi is at number 2, Naples at number 1. We're all really kind of in the top 5 here in the south. It's been very, very dry for us, especially into Louisiana. Louisiana has been so incredibly parched. Look at Louisiana and Texas. This is June 20th. All right, Texas didn't look great, but Louisiana was totally fine. Now look how bad it is. 94% of Louisiana is in drought, and Texas is not doing great either. We're better, but not great. How about Mississippi? From Tupelo to Jackson to Biloxi, we're all extreme or exceptional here, and the entire state is experiencing drought, and that's really what stands out. It's not only Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, spreads into Tennessee, Alabama, northern Georgia, even into the Carolinas. Conditions are really, really parched here. And look over the next 7 days. You're going to be lucky to get an inch. I mean, some of you, yes, here and there. But overall, it is really, really dry for us, and we just don't have loads of rain coming our way. From Atlanta down into Jackson, we're anywhere from 4 to 6 inches below average on rainfall since September 1st. Meanwhile, in the Northeast, they would love to give us rain. It's just been raining every weekend there, right? So they'd love to give it to us. This really, I think, shows you how bad it's been in Charlotte. We've only had 1.86 inches since September 1st. And notice, it's just here and there, and it's like 1/10 of an inch, 2/10 of an inch, a trace, which technically doesn't even count. You have to have at least 1/100th of an inch or more. And so it's just been super desperate here. Nashville, the same thing. I mean, these look pitiful, Jim, and it's kind of what it's still going to continue to look like.
And you know what's interesting is
right here you can see another little wave of energy coming in on the backside of this. This is going to be making its way across the northern tier, and I've got to tell you, overall, we stay in an active pattern, but it's nothing that is super intense. It's a little bit of rain here, a little bit of rain there. There's here and there you'll have a couple bursts of it, but overall it's going to look like this. Breezy conditions with this, though. Look at that. 30-mile-an-hour gusts into Green Bay, Chicago to 22. That could slow down travel. So you might say, well, it's sunny out there. What the heck is going on? A lot of the times that's going to be the wind coming in. We got a line of storms crossing over Lake Michigan, coming into lower Michigan here. So the northern portions of 75 are going to be on the stormy side for the morning. And then this is all just going to continue to spin its way eastbound as it heads throughout the day. You get a little bit of a break, and then we get another system that comes on through. Notice the winds as we go through the day. They're all going to start getting stronger into places like Buffalo, Detroit, Cleveland, Columbus as our system moves towards the east. So let's follow it. The snow is going to stay up into Canada. Then we have another one coming in midweek. And this is really what it looks like over the next kind of 10 days overall. For the most part, okay? It's not like write that in Sharpie, but generally speaking, we just have batches of energy that are going to come on through, and you can see the rain making its way here on Thursday. Then everything's going to move into the Northeast. You know, it was on this date, November 6, 1969, that Rutgers beat Princeton in the first ever college football game, 6-4. Of course, it was soccer, played in front of about 100 fans. And it more resembled rugby instead of today's soccer, so it was an interesting mashup. But yeah, maybe you're, trying to learn a new sport. Well, you might have to be doing that indoors in some places the next couple of days. Millions of you will be hitting the road this winter, and there's a good chance you will come across a hidden danger that can be easy to miss. And by the way, it doesn't even need to be snowing. We've all seen the signs. Bridge ices before road. And if you aren't paying attention, you might get caught off guard like that guy. So why does this happen, and how can we make sure it doesn't happen to you? What we want to do is we want to lift the bridge and examine the main reason why these bridges and overpasses freeze easily. Now, while the road is insulated by the ground below it, a bridge is exposed, right? So the air is free to move over and under the bridge. It has more surface area to exchange energy with the atmosphere. And since heat always flows from hot to cold, when the cold air surrounds all the sides of the bridge, it cools quickly. Now, building material also plays a role. Bridges can be good conductors, so when the wind blows, it whisks away the heat and the bridge temperature drops quickly. Now, believe it or not, the cooling rate of concrete can be as much as 5 degrees an hour after an oppressive cold front. And finally, cold air is dense, so it tends to sink towards those low-lying areas. If a bridge goes over a river or ravine, it might actually be a few degrees colder than the temperature just above the bridge. All right, so let's bring the bridge back down, rewind the scene, and think about the next time you're driving and come by one of those signs that warn you that the bridge may be icy. So you want to slow down and make sure your cruise control is off. You want to be ready in case your car encounters an icy patch, so keep both hands on the wheel. And remember, the bridge could be iced over even if your car's thermometer is above 32 degrees. So keep those tips in mind the next time you're out driving in the cold, and stay safe this winter. Wolf joins us at 7:40 a.m. this morning to discuss his piece on powering America's future. He looks at the road traveled as well as compelling new sources of clean energy, which could have an impact on your budget at the same time. So that will be on Pattern. Also as well this afternoon, starting at noon with me and Jordan.
All right, well,
good Monday morning after the morning chill drops off this afternoon. Look at this. It's going to feel like early summer more than late fall. Today, 160 million will feel temperatures above 70 degrees. And that heat is actually looking to shatter some long-standing records. That's bad news in places like the already parched southern states. The hotter it is, the more evaporation that's going to happen. In the north, rain is the name of the game. We're already seeing some precip this morning, and more is on the way from the upper Midwest to the Northeast, plus a few flakes and some ice could make for some slick roads. We're going to prepare you for all of this right now on America's Morning Headquarters. I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams alongside meteorologist Jordan Steele and Jim Cantori. Let's get to that heat, Jim, because it was like, yeah, the heater on, now you got to turn the air conditioning back on.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking back to
in the South. This is season to date, and we're in the top 5, anywhere from Knoxville to Alexandria to Brownsville, all the way to Naples. The entire Southeast has been super parched for us here, and you can see it especially from Mississippi to Louisiana to Texas. That's where we've been exceptionally dry. From June of this year, where we're only at 6% in Texas and Louisiana, to now look at Louisiana. I mean, we are seeing a massive chunk of the state in exceptional drought. Texas, we have about 39% of the state in drought, but Louisiana is just glaring. And the same as we look into places like Mississippi. It's also really bad here with the entire state in drought, and Jackson in exceptional. Otherwise, from Tupelo to Biloxi, we are in extreme. So we really need the rain. The thing is we are not going to get it. This is another odd fact. I was just trying to look up some information. And do you know that some states have a state drink? I had no idea that was a thing. And on literally Louisiana's.gov website, milk is the official state drink of Louisiana. Had no idea. Milk, rain, we'll take any type of moisture we can get here over the next 7 days. It's not going to be excessive. We'll just see little bits and bobs here, so I don't think it's going to help us very much. Not to mention the Mississippi River having all the issues it's been having. 4 to 6 inches below average, anywhere from Atlanta on into Jackson, Mississippi. And I think this really paints the picture. Look at Charlotte. Since September 1st, we've seen under 2 inches. And Jim, this just shows you how bad it is. And I want to show you another one here. This is Nashville. Again, we should be seeing a lot more green on this map, but we're not.
you just gave me an idea for tomorrow's segment. When was the last
Across India. Jim, I was watching it. It was randomly on a TV somewhere I was at, and I was like, right. I need to learn the rules to this game. I have no idea what's going on or how it's played.
I was just going to ask
and
if you
want to learn, the rules and how the game is played. Have you ever played or?
No. Yeah. But
This is the system that's causing, I should say, due in part, causing some of that nasty weather. You can see another piece of energy here dropping into this. And that's what we're going to see for the extended period through the northern tier, these blips of energy coming through, giving us not only the lightning, which is what we were just showing you here with Manistee, Michigan, but also the winds. This could actually cause issues with some of the flights here out of Chicago. I don't think we have any delays right now. I'm going to double check that, though. But sustained at 20, gusting to 28, that could be certainly problematic depending depending on the runways and which direction the wind, if they're cutting across the runways, that could be an issue. So here is our low pressure. Okay, no issues at the airport just yet. It is still really early, though. It's 6:30 in Chicago, so things are just starting to get active. Speaking of active, here's your line of storms that is coming right into lower Michigan. 75 is going to be stormy for you. This then pushes east, and you'll see we get a little bit of a break. Then we get another round that's going to make its way in as we head into midweek. The winds, notice as we go through the day, they're pretty nasty, but they're going to start spreading east. So I think that we could have flight issues here around the Great Lakes due to the winds, due to the turbulence. It could delay some flights, so it's something to keep in mind. And then you see the next system coming in. So as we see one move away, there's number 2 coming in midweek, and that is going to bring us basically the same type of weather that we're getting today as we head into our Wednesday and also into our Thursday. And then this will all be moving into the northeast. And we will talk more about that in a little bit. Also coming up, we have Reynolds Wolf with our new special series, shifting away from fossil fuels faster than many people think. Renewable energy sources are expected to overtake coal by 2025 worldwide, which, by the way, is only a couple years away. Yeah.
This week on Pattern, we're taking a special look at the transition here in the U.S. Meteorologist Reynolds Wolf is going to join us now to preview a special series. It's called Pattern Explores, Powering the Future. Reynolds obviously talking about these different ways we're going from coal and going maybe to solar. And one of these spots you explored was in Kentucky?
Inez, Kentucky.
Okay.
And it's one of those places that you can, is a new opportunity and a time was setting. Take a look.
I know, it's going to be, of course, on Pattern at noon. We'll have the whole series for you. But Reynolds, I'm curious of what the community thinks, because a lot of people, they don't want to switch from coal to more green energy. What do the people in that area say?
First, you get to know hard work means everything. And these are people who don't want to hand out. What they want is opportunity. And that's what you're getting in this story, is you've got a place that, well, they have a great reputation for hard work. So it's a marriage, perfect marriage in that sense. But it's not a perfect situation. There's no fuel work, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the mines have been closed down, but this is an opportunity to do something that is, again, it's new. It's just a great workforce with a new opportunity, and they're taking full advantage.
Yeah. Reynolds, what can we expect for the rest of the series? I know this is just part 1 of it.
Well, the thing that and you're going to have stories from here, from West Texas, and also South Georgia.
Love it, man.
There you go.
We can't wait to see it again.
Absolutely.
Pattern, noon Eastern, right here on the Weather Channel. You got to tune in.
The power of weather on full display tomorrow night. Catch an all-new episode of Weather Gone Viral at 8 Central tomorrow night. Even as a non-mom, Jordan, I was like, someone get that baby. It's about to fly out of the
gosh,
stroller.
I know.
And I was just bundled up.
September heat.
Yeah, it is. We want to get you out the door in the Midwest and show you what it's looking like. Good Monday morning. After the morning chill drops off, this afternoon will feel more like late summer than fall. Look at these numbers here today. 160 million will feel temperatures above 70 degrees, and that heat is looking to actually shatter some long-standing records. And that's bad news for places that are already parched in the south, because the hotter it is, the more evaporation you get. Now in the north, the name of the game is wet, sloppy, and by the way, windy weather for us here. We are already seeing some rain this morning, and we are going to see more of this from the upper Midwest to the Northeast. And it looks like most of the snow will stay into Canada, but some of you could see a few flakes. We're going to help you get prepared this morning on America's Morning Headquarters. I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams alongside meteorologist Jordan Steele and Jim Cantori. Jim, we got to talk about the heat. I was just bundled up last week when I was outside. And now, this morning, I was like, oh, make sure you have shorts in your bag this afternoon because it's going to be warm.
We had temperatures in North Dakota.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we see a little system develop from Texas and go across the south, but it's not going to do a whole lot. It'll help us a little bit, but we're going to need so much more because, look at our numbers. Season to date, every city you see on this map is in the top 5 driest. And that goes from the Carolinas to Texas, all the way down to Florida, Knoxville, Naples in the #1 spot. This is what it looks like on the map. Very dry, especially along the I-10 corridor here, over into Mississippi as well. June 20th, we were 6% drought in Texas. You can see it's very little drought into Louisiana, and things have just gone gangbusters here. 94% of Louisiana is in drought. And by the way, majority of the state is in exceptional drought, making it even worse. That, of course, crossing over to Texas and Mississippi as well, where Jackson's in an exceptional drought, and you see a big chunk of the state is in extreme drought. Exceptional, by the way, is the worst on our legend. So it's not just those 3 states. it expands up into Tennessee, over to Georgia, the Carolinas, even northbound into Kentucky and into the Midwest as well. And this is the rain over the next 7 days. 7 days. Yeah, some rain into Texas there, but I mean, you're talking maybe 2 to 3 inches. It's not going to wipe it out. We're going to need a lot more. Otherwise, this is all just light stuff that's going to be coming out through. And we'll show you that forecast in the south for later in the week coming up. 4 to 6 inches below average here, anywhere from Georgia to Mississippi. And as we look at our Charlotte forecast, or what we've seen, I should say, since September 1st, there's only a few green squares here, and they're all below an inch. And you see the T's, that means a trace of rain, which doesn't count. You need 1/100th of an inch or more in order to have measurable water. And here we got 3/10, 4/10. I mean, very little in Nashville as well. Jim, I'd love to see all of these boxes lit up in green.
And you will.
Let's take a look ahead at your T-Mobile Coast to Coast forecast and give you a peek at the temperatures in your area as you plan to travel for the week ahead. And as we look at today's forecast, it's really the northern tier, and that's where most of the action stays, with the exception of later in the week down into Texas and the I-10 corridor tomorrow. Not a whole lot happening, but tomorrow, by the way, election day across the country. This is where you're voting for a lot of city council member. I know there's a couple governor races going on, but it's stuff that actually really impacts you right in your community. So get out there and vote. Educate yourself before you do. Wednesday, it's pretty bland with the exception of our system going through. And then there's that weather maker I was talking about in the south. That's the only hope for rain. That piece of energy right here. You can see that spin. You see that spin right there. Another little piece of energy right here diving down to reinvigorate this and help it, giving us the showers and storms. Now, Traverse City is right in that vicinity. And so the storms are just coming through. Alpena gusting to 30, Chicago as well. So it's really breezy through the entire region. No airport issues right now. I was just looking that up. But there's Traverse City gusting to 39. I wouldn't be surprised if we run into airport issues. Gaylord 40. You can see hail, 1/4 of an inch. Frankfurt up to nearly 50 miles an hour with these thunderstorms. So that's all going to keep progressing eastbound as we head through the day today and make its way towards the northeast. Get a little bit of a breather for our Tuesday, and then we see our next system move in. So 30, 40 mile an hour winds, that all moves with the system. Things will quiet down for our Tuesday, but there's the next one coming into the picture for you right there. So we have 2 that will come on through the Midwest, at least through midweek, and they push into the northeast. So when does this start again? Well, basically what you're dealing with today, you're going to be dealing with on Wednesday, and as we head through our Thursday as well, then we get another break for us. But at that point, it's all in the northeast. So we're going to start off with the nice start to the week, but then things go downhill as we head towards the week for us here. Now, giving a voice to nature, the nature world through photography. That's a big theme of the Nature Conservancy's 2023 photography competition.
So the power and the peril of our environment is put on full display through the lens of photographers battling it out through to win, obviously, in several categories here. Senior photo editor Alex Snyder from the Nature Conservancy joins us right now. Hey, Alex, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Wow. How many submissions from around the world that you had to sort through here before you selected the winners?
Oh, gosh. Well, first, thanks for having me.
Climate paints quite a dire picture. What can you tell us?
Yeah, the climate category started
To go with it. We want to talk about the lands category and the beauty of nature and why theirs is so extraordinary. But are these photographers allowed to edit these on their computer after they take them, or is this you have to focus your speed, you know, all that in one?
So we have high standards, and we
Central to life, and you had some incredible shots. Tell us about that one.
the oceans category.
Senior photo editor at Nature Conservancy.
190,000.
Reynolds Wolf will be live in the next hour of America's Morning headquarters to discuss his piece on powering America's future. He looks at the road traveled as well as compelling new sources of clean energy, which could have an impact on your budget at the same time. He'll also join Jordan and me at noon on Pattern with part 1 of the series. I'm looking forward to that, Jordan. It looks like really interesting stuff.
So good. I've been talking Reynolds
later, but this is definitely on the late side. That is for sure. Let's take you into the Midwest, into Duluth, and also